What's up, streamers? Papa Stanham is here. Today we're going to talk about 3 major elements you need to be covering in their entirety to ensure the future success of your stream. Those 3 things are very simple: quality, content, and exposure. If you have these 3 things covered, then your stream will be a success. It will. Why? Because there's so many people not doing all 3 of the things. Okay, so quality, to start off, quality, the easy one, everyone's got that covered, but let's talk about it anyways, okay? In my opinion, no matter how big or small you are, keep it simple. I really believe in keeping it simple, and I'm actually being a hypocrite because my stream is super complicated, and I choose to do that, but I know that I don't have to. All I have to do is keep things simple. If your stream doesn't chug or lag or skip or freeze, it's just a smooth stream with no issues, then you're covered. You've got your quality underway, okay? You gotta make sure you have a basic microphone and camera. Make sure that if you have your camera angle weird or whatever, make sure it makes sense or something. Just make sure that we could see you, okay? We don't wanna look at your forehead only or something like that. Just make sure it's a nice little camera angle for yourself, okay? So that's not hard to do, right? Make sure that your audio isn't picking up every little freaking thing, okay? There's some simple tricks and settings you can do in OBS to minimize outside sounds. Just get it just you, and it doesn't have to be an expensive camera or mic, okay? Just keep them simple. You wanna make sure that you don't spend too much money on your equipment, okay? Get a simple camera and a simple microphone that do the job. You don't need anything crazy. You could just use your headset if you want. There's T1, dude, he uses a headset mic and nobody cares, okay? The only people that care about equipment and all that kind of stuff and pushing the limits are streamers. Viewers generally, as long as things are, they could see you clearly, they could hear you clearly, they can, the stream is not chugging and stuff like that, they don't care. It's all good to them, okay? So that's quality. Just keep it simple. All right, and that one's easy. Everyone's got that covered. Another one that a lot of people have covered, not everyone, but a lot of people have covered, is content. They do a good job on their stream. They have got a magnetic personality. When people show up to their stream, they're very good at keeping them there, not letting them leave. Or if they have to leave, they just say, oh, I gotta leave. I wish I didn't have to leave, but I gotta leave. And that's the job of you as the streamer, is to have that magnetic personality and put on a show that makes people not want to leave, okay? And it's not developed overnight for some people that are new. You have to practice this. Every single time you get in front of the microphone and camera, it's like you're going to the streamer gym, okay? And you got to go and work out and stretch different muscles so you can get better at this over time, okay? You got to strengthen your streamer skill set while you're live. Learn how to interact with people. Try and interact with people better and better and quicker, and get, try not to delay that stuff too long. Try to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing is actually something that people want, and it's interesting. Make sure that you are interesting and not quiet and boring, okay? If you're just gonna play games and in silence, then don't even go live. If that's you, don't even go live. Come up with a plan before you go live and stick to it, even if it's awkward. It won't be awkward forever the longer you practice, okay? So content and being interesting. Think of yourself like you're on a stage and there's thousands of people watching you, looking at you, counting on you for the entertainment. You don't have any games, you don't have any music playing, you don't have any gags that you've made for your stream. You don't have any angles or anything like that. It's just you and your microphone and the audience. How do you captivate and entertain them? You got to answer that question. You got to figure that out, and it takes time. All right. Moving on to the last and final piece of this puzzle, the big, difficult one for everybody is exposure. People just can't seem to figure out where that comes from. And a lot of streamers tend to ignore this problem. They've got their quality and content figured out, but the exposure part, they don't know, and they think that it's gonna just happen, or they just don't know. They're just going for it, and the exposure question is not answered. You have to answer it. You gotta figure out how you get eyes on you. Here's why. You can have the best quality and the best content in the fucking world, but no one's gonna know you exist if you don't teach them you exist. You have to get exposure. You have to. You cannot ignore this problem. It must be solved in order for your stream to succeed. So that's why it seems so simple. You break it down into 3 things: quality, content, and then the big hard one, exposure. Where does that come from? I'm prepared to give you guys some ideas on this video. I'll give you some examples of things that I have done, but ultimately there's a million different ways to get exposure that have not even been invented yet. There's some proven ways, and then there's whatever's out there that people haven't figured out yet. And it's up to you to find those things. Each streamer has their own individual, oftentimes they have their own individual source of exposure or sources. They find it and then they hold on to it. Streamers that are getting viewers, they're getting them from somewhere or somehow they got there, okay? And it's very important that we all answer this question on how we do it. Now, some of the ways that I did it are pretty simple. The biggest thing that I've ever done to get exposure is host PUBG war modes. Okay, this feature came out on PUBG where anybody can create a custom game, and then you put your server in a server list, and then people can join that server. A lot of people would type in what the game mode is, what, you know, like what settings or whatever they could fit in there. I chose to put TTV Papa Stanimus as my server name. And from day one all the way till when I left that game, that's the way I've always done it. And that was huge for me. I was filling up massive lobbies. I would get, if I wanted to, I could fill up 100 at a time, but the game was too laggy. So I pushed it to, famously, 69 players. And I would always fill the servers up to 69. As soon as it hit 69, I'd hit the start button. I'd have people in the chat begging me, start the game. And we would all make fun of them because they're being impatient. We turned it into a meme, you know, and we built this whole culture around playing in these war modes. This little stream of mine just popped up out of nowhere, and I became the most well-known war mode host in PUBG. And I made sure I always reminded people, nobody does it better. Papa Stanimus war modes, Monday through Friday. Hit that follow button, be notified when these games go live. I made sure I said that a million times, because every time I'd get 69 new players in there, how many of them are gonna type in TTV Papa Stanimus and check this guy out that's always hosting these? Eventually they'll come in. Maybe they didn't come in for a whole month and they played and then they finally came in, but enough people came in every day that it was worth it. And I got accustomed to getting between 30 and 50 followers per stream. And that's now my goal. Every time I go live, I try to get about 30 plus. That's my goal, because that's what I've grown accustomed to with what I was able to pull off in PUBG. And this is as a nobody. I didn't have any previous clout to make that happen. It was the thing that I was doing. I found an access point for exposure. I found a way to get my name in front of everybody and get them to come check out my stream. Once they showed up to the stream, bam, I hit them with the content. All right, the quality, if that's not there, people just tune out, all right? So quality is already good to go. Everyone can figure that one out. The moment, so I had the exposure, I bring the people in, bam, I hit them with the content, they hit that follow button, they stick around, I'm building community. Some other methods that I've used to get attention to myself is by hosting servers in other games, such as Minecraft. I built a really good Minecraft community, and it started off with just a few of us guys from PUBG. You know, it turns out, hey, some people from PUBG play Minecraft too. It was cool. So I started doing some Minecraft streams just to take away from a break from PUBG, because it was declining and it still is. And so I exited that game and I started looking for my next big source of exposure. And I found that in Minecraft. I created a dope server. Everyone was joining it because I had in my Twitch title, join my server. And I had a little command to get the info, and I made sure we got a dope IP address for the Minecraft server. So it's is based off of our website, minecraft.gameupload.net. Plug. Some of the other things that I've done is host tournaments. So I'd create a tournament and I'd schedule it for Friday, and then I would stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, promoting that tournament all week, and I'm streaming the game that I'm gonna be having the tournament in it, and it's hype. And then on Friday, you have the tournament, and everyone shows up and they're there because you put it on Battlefy or Smash.gg or whatever tournament website is good for your game, or put them on all of them, like I used to do. Put them on all of them. I don't care which one you sign up on, as long as you come to my stream on tournament day. That's what I care about. One last technique to get exposure for your stream is something that I have not personally done, but it's something I've observed other people do. And that is basically cozy up with a bigger streamer and see if you could play with them. Now, the way this is done is very specific. One thing is you need to have an incredible amount of skill in the game that it is that you're playing, or at least from the way I've observed people pull this off. There's probably other ways. Hear me out and maybe something will click for you. So the way that I've observed this, these people have had incredible skill in the game, like pro league level skill, not just good at the game owning noobs. This is owning other people that are good at the game. They're just incredible. They're unstoppable forces of nature in this game, okay? And they have that, and then they cozy up with a bigger creator. They join their community. They're all over the chat. They meet everyone in the chat. They greet everyone in the chat. They sub. They donate. Do everything. You're part of it. You're a viewer in the community. Never reveal that you're a streamer. Just hanging out in the community, okay? And then you're following that streamer on Twitter and other social media and interacting with that streamer's social media, engaging them. And you want to make sure this isn't so massive that you're not going to get noticed. You want to be able to have them recognize that there's this person that's all over Twitch, they're all over Twitter, they're super engaged in my Discord, all of that stuff. They see all those things because you make them see it by being there and participating and being a good part of their community. They'll love it, and they'll start seeing who you are. And then you send a mod a message. You say, hey, can I play with so-and-so? Can you get me in a game with them? Here's my stats, I'm incredible. That's one of the really cool ways you can get exposure that I haven't personally done. Now there's many other ways to get exposure, and I have a few other ways written on my article. There's a link down below in the description. You could read the whole article on this subject. The big cool part of that article is that there's some other examples of exposure in there that you can use today to start getting yourself views right now. These are entry-level exposure methods. Anybody can do them, and they're pretty easy usually. That's all I have for everyone today. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about this stuff, please leave them in the comments down below. I talk to everybody. If you guys have other thoughts on this subject other than just questions and you want to talk about it, please do. I'll talk to you about it. And if anyone has any other answers to the exposure problem, that's one I'd really love to see in the chat. Now, you could find me on Twitch live Monday through Friday, starting at 12 p.m. Mountain Time at Twitch TV Papa Stanimus. You can also find me on Twitter and other social media. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to talk to me on a one-on-one, go to papasdiscord.com. Find me in there. I'm always in there talking to whoever wants to talk. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.